Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Crystal Goddess. I'm Lara de-Leuw, and today I'm very excited because it's been a long time since I've looked at this, and it's not a gem. It's brilliant. So this, if you want to be able to identify gemstones, this is your gem kit, and this is a fantastic, easily portable, amazing kit that has the majority of tools that you need to identify a gemstone. You can't always do it, it's not always possible. Sometimes you need one of these, a refractometer, which is one of those awkward things to use actually. Never fully got on board with this one, but they are very, very good at identifying what certain gems are. And then of course you've got the microscope as well, and that's not counting any of the kind of equipment that they use in the big labs. So if you're just a basic gemologist who doesn't work in a lab, or you're out in the field, you want to be able to carry something with you that you can identify gems with quite easily. And if you're buying gemstones, there are often times where people do slip things in and say it's one thing when it's actually something completely different, so you don't ever want to be duped. And this is a great little kit to have, especially if you know how to use it. So I'm going to open it and show you what tools there are inside your basic gem kit. And what would it be? We're going to start off with something you might not have considered, but a cloth. We're dealing with gemstones. They attract oil from fingers and fingerprints and grease marks and dust, so it's always a nice idea to clean the stone you're working with before you actually start looking at it properly. And then the next thing I've got here for you is a pair of tweezers, always handy if you're dealing with loose gemstones. And I'll do different episodes on how to use the various tools, but I just want to introduce you to the kit to start with. So tweezers, always handy. These ones actually have a little groove in them, so you can fit the girdle into that little groove to make it a little bit more secure a fit. Then we've got probably one of the most important tools you will ever come across. This is a 10 times loupe, and it is brilliant for identifying inclusions, so you can actually look inside the gem, you can look over the gem as well, over the surface of it, and you can actually identify quite a few I want to say falsities. So you can tell when it's a doublet or when it's not really what it says it is, because there are certain things you look for, or if you can sometimes tell if it's glass in comparison to the real thing, or sometimes you can tell it's a synthetic because of the things that you find inside the gem itself. So this is really important, and it's a great thing to have with you. And again, I'll do an episode on how to use that. Then what do we have? Well, you need a light source when you're looking at gems. You need a light source. And so what we've got here is a little Flexi Light, which is brilliant because it is flexible, so you can angle it so you can see the stone better. And it's battery operated, so easy to replace. Then I've actually got a second light source of a little light box called the Pocket Dragon. Nice little light source, which you can dim or increase or turn off. And they are used, in fact I'll bring this one to you next. So this is a Polariscope, and it's 2 cross filters. And what you would do, there you go, little cutie. So Polariscope, and again I'll explain what it's used for in a different episode, and I'll show you how it's used as well. But they're really, really good. Then you've got the Dichroscope, which is, again, do you see how all of these are really small and compact? And they literally can just fit in your pocket if you wanted to just take the odd one with you. So Dichroscope is to identify dichroism. If you have a stone that's dichroic, it means you can often see 2 different colours in it, or trichroic, like tanzanite. If it's natural tanzanite and not heated, you can see 3 different colours in it. Iolite is also trichroic as well. So that actually helps you to pinpoint if it has just got one colour, or you can actually see more than that one colour, and that's down to the optic axes. So that's a really handy one. And then the Chelsea colour filter, same design, but you'll see, and I don't know if you can see that, but the actual filter in there is green. It's got like a green tinge to it, and it helps you identify chromium inside gemstones, because of course chromium is a big colouring agent. It gives the green to emeralds, some emeralds, majority of emeralds, and it gives the red to rubies. So it's great to be able to identify if you've got real emeralds or if you've got real rubies. It's not quite as accurate as it used to be many years ago, since different treatments have been brought into place and since different synthetics have been brought into place, but it's still a great one to have. Then, a little bit tricky, just like the refractometer, it's a little bit tricky to use, but once you get the hang of it, you know what? If you don't throw it down, it's actually really good. So what you do is you look at the gemstone with a light source to it, and it will split the light. So it's a spectroscope, and it splits the light, and you'll get different parts of the colour spectrum missing, and that will give you a certain pattern, which is normally characteristic to specific stones because of the chemical composition that they have and how those chemicals can absorb light. And so you get these quite, I can't think of the term, I'm just going to say rigid, quite rigid lines of colour and missing colour. This is not, I'm not explaining it very well, but it makes perfect sense in my head. But you get these little patterns that you then have to memorise, and you can tell from those patterns what the gem is, or what chemicals may have been used in it, or what minerals may have been used in it, if it's a synthetic. So that's a really handy one. This one I love. This one is so much fun, and it's so simple. It literally is a glass ball on the end of a stick, and it's used to find interference figures. And I'm hoping, I have actually broke the end of this one, I am hoping that I'll be able to show you some interference figures at a later point, because this is where it gets fun, trying to identify gemstones, is all of the different things that you do and the different responses that the stones give. It's really quite exciting. So that is a simple basic, I say simple basic, it's a really important kit for any gemologist. So if you are wanting to start learning how to identify gemstones, this is a fantastic kit to get your hands on. It's got all the bits that you could possibly want if you're out in the field. In fact, I just found some what I think is calcite, which I got very excited about. We've just had some gravel. I get excited about gravel. I get excited about gravel. We had some gravel which we bought off a neighbour who's getting rid of theirs, and we kind of went, well, it's just, we don't have to go to get a big bag of it, we can just traipse it over. So we've done it, and I managed to find a bit of calcite in it. So I'm going to test it to see if it is, because it's so exciting. But yeah, if you do love gemstones, it's always nice to be able to identify them, and that's the kit that is really useful for doing it. You've also then got something like a refractometer or a microscope, which I'll show you those at a later point anyway. But thank you very much for watching this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I will show you how to use the different bits of equipment as we go along. So please like, subscribe, and ding that bell. Normally I will be putting up videos on Wednesdays and on Sundays, but it's always nice to get a reminder, isn't it? So thank you for watching. Please put your comments below, let me know what kind of things you want to know. Which of these tools would you like to learn first? Let me know that, and hopefully I'll see you on the next Crystal Goddess. Mwah, love to all.